No, I don't
God, Kevin, hold your pants.
Kevin.
Welcome to the I Tap That Cigar Show presented by Corona Cigar. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the I Tap That Cigar Show. I already said that. See, I screwed up the beginning because I changed it, and I still.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, Kev.
I know. You know, it's the countdown timer. That's what's messed with us from the beginning of the year.
I like how he looped me and Kerr in this as if we had
a countdown timer.
I know, like we got written out of the script, and now it's our fault.
I know, and then
one word, and you wrote us out.
All
did
right.
Did you hit start? Did you hit the big red button?
It was running, and
take responsibility.
It's
Kevin.
time for another I Tap That Cigar Show presented by Corona Cigar. I'm gonna say it 3 times.
Do you want me to play the intro again?
No, I am your host.
Welcome, everyone.
I am your host, Kevin from Cigar Prop, and I am coming to you live from the Drew. We are coming to you live from the Drew Estate Experience Asset Studios here on the sunny Gulf Coast of Florida. Joining me, as always, is my co-host Kerr Viajante of Stogie Road Cigars, and then as you can see, Jess and Jen are joining us as well.
Hello, Kevin. How are you? My, you look handsome this evening.
Kerr, you were supposed to pause after "How are you?" Oxford comma Kerr. That's what that means.
Is that
That's
what
a
that
little
is?
breath. So I am doing good, Carrie. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Jennifer, from Christopher Walmer.
Happy birthday.
Yes, Jen and Kerr just got back from Jen's birthday Vegas
extravaganza.
Yeah, extravaganza.
Kevin's birthday intro wasn't ready, so next year.
Yeah. Yes, next year. So, yes. If we did the bully show, I was going to sing to you because you sung to me on my birthday. So, what's that?
Go for it, sing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't in the notes, so
I put it in there.
You know how I am with the notes. So happy birthday to you. There we go.
Wow.
Yes.
Thanks, Kevin. I feel the love.
Yeah.
He went off script, so you should be very, very.
I did off script. I actually wrote a couple of things down here off script, last minute things. Jess.
Not off script then.
Jess is going to be on Shirtless Mike, the Shirtless Mike show tomorrow.
That. I shared it. That's awesome.
So, Mike had to find the one thumbnail with you showing a little bit of cleavage and use that one.
Great picture,
Mike. Oh,
yeah.
Did he? I didn't even pay attention.
The thousands of photos, you have one, and Mike's like snagged it.
Whatever.
Clickbait. As clickbait, Mike Holmes.
Yeah, clickbait. Yeah. No, I'm excited. I have Mike, so
people are going to click because it's Jessica.
Yes, that they are.
Well, I don't mind going on to help him out, or if he got into a bind, trying to find someone. No big deal. I'm still going to be nervous. It doesn't matter because I don't like it.
You're not a secondary or class. What do they call those? A B lister.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
You're a top-notch influencer.
That's it. Yeah, you're a Saturday night. Showtime girl, not a Wednesday afternoon buffet girl. That is not you.
You're not a showgirl that walks around asking for money. That we saw that looked horrific.
That's it. So
okay.
I need a cigar, but first I want to get Bruce Bush over at Berger Cigars. Sent me over, which goes live tomorrow. Their new K by Karen cigar. Florida cigar passport. So inside here is over $850 in free cigars at various lounges here in Florida.
Did you ever find out if they keep them?
Yeah. So what you do is you go into any one of these cigar lounges in the state of Florida, and there's coupons: buy 3 Karen Berger cigars, Karen Berger or Don Kiki cigars, and receive 1 free cigar. And there's another coupon: get 15% off. I believe if you visit like 25 of these lounges in the state before the end of the year, and they're all signed off on, there's an address you can mail it to on the back for a big grand prize giveaway. We'll get Bruce on in the next couple weeks for a couple minutes to talk more about this. But if you email Bruce at KarenBergerCigars.com, his email is in the video description below, so you don't have to remember it. These Florida cigar passports are absolutely free. They don't cost you anything to get to one or get one. So with that being said, it's time for the CigarMedics humidimeter cut and light. Remember, with the CigarMedics humidimeter, you'll always know when to hold them and know when to smoke them. Jess, what did you decide to smoke tonight?
I decided, actually, I didn't pick out of yours. This was one out of mine.
You
have
kudzu.
I have the.
You have the kudzu and the torpedo.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'll take the kudzu and
but
it sounds like it's out of Kevin's collection.
I wanted a kudzu.
My collection.
I know.
I asked him earlier.
Yeah.
I said, do you have any? Because I was going to give him one, and he goes, I have a bunch on the table.
I love torpedoes and bellicosos. Those are my
I was gonna say, it sounds like it was right out here.
To let him pick this, but then he was all snippy about how he.
So you did take it from his collection?
No, it's mine. I have a couple.
So
of them.
I'm gonna go with the Southern Draw, the Jacob's Ladder, because the other night I smoked the Jacob's Ladder Brimstone, and God, I love this cigar. Everybody gets so. When they see this cigar, they get so nervous and they get, it's such a big cigar, and it's called
Mine's
Brimstone. And I tell people, I said, this is the only cigar of this size in the industry that I routinely go back to. There's nothing else. There's nothing else that big.
Huge.
But there's nothing else in the industry of that size I ever smoked more than once
mine
or twice.
Was 60.
Ask him.
So,
what's the size?
It's the Presidente, which is, I believe they consider that an A. I remember because I wrote a blog post about it. That
doesn't help me, Kevin.
It was 9 by, here, give me the.
Is it a 9 by 50 or 52?
I want to say 9 by 48.
9 by 48?
Robert's skinny and long.
Robert's in the back right now yelling. I got the cellophane on, so it's either a 48 or 50. Okay. I believe it's but this was actually my very first written cigar blog posting that I ever did on this cigar the other day on my blog. Usually we just repost press releases and stuff, but that cigar impressed me so much, as always. I thought I'd write my very first blog post. Took me forever. I'm at 66% with the CigarMedics humidimeter. So all right, Kerr, Jen, what do you guys think?
The Desert Rose.
Desert Rose.
Oh, the Desert Rose.
Yeah, nice.
We're twinning.
Twinning.
Do not say that out loud, please.
Yeah.
What the hell is wrong with you?
We have one as well. I've also got a plethora of other. I got the another great cigars, the Cedrus, the Lancero, the Manzanita. And I also have this in the Lancero, and I have it in the Gordo.
I think. Is Chris telling you the size?
What's that?
9.25 by
47?
Question mark. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I think it's a 48, if I'm not mistaken.
Or 47.8, 47.5.
Maybe. We'll have to ask Robert and Sharon when they get on here.
Walmer has his his ring gauge counter in 0.5s.
Yeah. Oh, in 0.5s. I don't. Yeah. Yeah. Mine's not in 0.5s. So yeah. Other than that, let's get this let's kick this show off. It's we're 10 minutes in. We told our guests would be 7.5 to 8 minutes. You know, I don't like running late.
So you ready?
No, we're not ready yet because Kerr's got
to run later.
Kerr's got to run the video, but not before.
Not before you tell me.
We thank all of our sponsors for making this show happen each and every week. So thank you to JC Newman Cigars, CigarMedics, Amendola Cigars, We Are the Muscle, Veritas Cigars, Illusione Cigars, Deep in Flavor, Deep in Your Mind, K by Karen Berger Cigars, Corona Cigar, and of course, Drew Estate and Experience Acid. One job, Kerr. Okay, so that was a teaser for something we'll be talking about later in the show.
You did say you're going to give me the cue to play that one.
Yeah, later in the show.
End. Yeah,
at the end. This is our sponsor intro. So
good.
What you're saying is earlier, you can hook two mice up to a computer? I'm just
that's not on the notes anymore. Apparently,
going off script there.
Going off script there, Kevin, to make fun of me. I deserved that one.
Yeah,
as my apology. I had one job and I fouled it up.
You know, I didn't even. It was like halfway through, and I'm like, "What is that playing?" And I looked up, I'm like, "Oh my god!" So, all right, waiting patiently in the Experience Acid Green Room is Robert and Sharon Holt of Southern Draw Cigars. Yeah,
green room we come.
Welcome to the chaos that's happening. Apparently,
the chaos. We're only the third show into the season, the new season. We're working out some bugs. So
apparently, I'm one of the bugs.
Yeah.
Follow the cue. Follow the cue. I get that all the time. By the way, I was watching from the green room, and I was like, she gives me the cue, and I'm always putting the wrong video up. I guess it's catchy. Her and I, we've done it.
Yeah,
we do it.
That's it.
What do you want me to do?
So, your overlays for our sponsors.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Thank
so
you.
I usually have a lot more control over the mouse, but I'm sitting on this side tonight, so I'm a little.
Okay, I like how he's blaming me and Kerr for this, but it's fine.
I'm just blaming myself.
No, you're blaming us technically because you just said, "Oh, I don't have control over the mouse." That's blaming me and Kerr.
Yeah.
No.
He's taking responsibility for our failures.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
am.
Thank you
that's
so much.
That's what a good host does.
Awesome.
So, well, yeah. So, how are you folks doing tonight? So, now that you're in,
It's an honor. It's an honor to be here with y'all. Thanks for having us.
Oh, you're welcome. And this is pretty much how the show is going to go. We are pretty laid back here. We don't.
That's how
3 of the 4.
When the bullies are all together, it's pretty much a free for all.
That's it. So where are you folks coming from tonight? I was mentioning before the show that I have never seen Robert indoors, and where are you coming from?
Well, let's not make this a habit. We need to get back outside when the temperature is above 30 in Texas. But we're coming to you live from our little humble abode in Austin, Texas.
Now you say so. Where is, like I don't. Texas is so big. I don't know where anything's at anywhere, let alone Texas. Why is it so cold? We think Austin. We just don't think cold.
Well, I think it's cold because the meteorologist told us it was going to be cold. I don't think there's logic to it. But, think about it this way. Texas is a whole nother country, which means we've got all temperatures and seasons, right?
Yeah.
So where is, are you central? So I need a picture where Austin is, not pulling up. So is your central, north, where are you at? And then where are you at compared to?
Right in the middle, right?
Okay.
In the middle, called Central Texas. Yeah. So just put a little pin in the middle of Texas and you're pretty much there.
All right. I was in Dallas not too long ago. How we're in relation to Dallas?
200 miles south of there.
Oh, you're 200 miles. Okay. So yeah. All right.
That does not help you. I'm sure.
It's not helping me a whole lot. Yeah.
We'll pull a map up afterwards.
Yeah, I know where
Kevin.
South Beach is. I remember that from growing up. That's where everybody fly. It was either South Beach or Fort Lauderdale is where everybody went for spring break. So
in Florida.
Yeah, it's in Florida, not Texas.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one reason I know where
South Padre here.
Or South Padre, not South. Did I say South Beach?
Yeah.
I meant
South Padre Island. I don't even know how to pronounce the names of the places. I don't even
What
know.
happens when you start making fun of people, Kev?
Yeah,
That's
it's
it.
like just keep on talking, Kevin.
Nothing like that vacation spot in Boca Raton, Texas.
Yeah, Boca Raton.
It's a little east of here, by the way.
Yeah.
See, someone's even saying, "What is happening? What is happening? Get it together."
Yeah, we need to go and find out who that is. So,
where the hell are you talking about? He's in Florida.
He's back in Florida.
Oh my God! All right, let's get to our guest tonight because Sharon, like I said, you don't really do a lot of interviews, so we don't really know a lot about you. We're not going to dive deep into your history. But the one thing that I would like to know is how the two of you met. I don't think Robert told us that story last time he was on the show. So how did you two meet?
We were both college students at East Texas State University, which is now Texas A&M Commerce. And I saw him on campus. I'm pretty sure he saw me. But I just kind of watched. And I thought, that is the most beautiful creature I've ever seen. And so I followed him around, checked him out, and then I was at the Zappa Center? And I was making a phone call, and he walked up behind me, and he said, "Well, if you're calling me, I'm not there." And
that's so smooth. God.
Nice line.
And I was looking at him, and I felt like I was floating. And I think he said some stuff to me, but I wasn't really sure what he said. I heard Robert and communications, and anyway, but we met that day, and I actually needed a ride home because my ride home had ditched me. And I said, "Hey, I work at this little place called Sparky's in Commerce. It was the only place you could make money, waiting tables, and it was where everybody went. Good fried food and beer, bucket beer, and all that." And so I said, "So, I'll buy you a beer someday if you want to come in and say hi." He came in that night. And the rest is history. Oh, look at him. He's already. What did I say that was wrong?
For the record, all I heard that day was free beer.
Yeah, that's it. That seems like an 80s sitcom. Sparky's, buckets of beer, and like seems like we've seen that show before.
You have. You totally have. And anyway, that was 27 years ago.
So you dated all the way through college, and then did Robert? Did you go away to the military and you got married?
I went away first. Went back to get my degrees after the fact. So by this time I had already done the dirty deeds around the world. So I was free and clear and untethered. And she ruined my perfect idea of, having a harem of cheerleaders at a college. But, it worked out for the better, I mean, could you imagine if I had a pink cigar called the Harem? I'd only sell it like Utah, right? But
yeah.
I wouldn't trade her for $1 million or $2 million in this case. I think I've been offered $1 million. That was an indecent proposal, but not even $2 million.
It's been fun. It's been fun.
So how long did you two date before? I assume Robert popped the question.
Here again, assumptions. The short answer is like
3 years.
Well, not quite 3 years, but because I know the dates, I get paid to remember these things. What I remember, short conversation, and all I know is I was planning to visit her, and she says, "Come with a ring or don't come at all." So that
a ring and a date.
Got it going,
Girls gotta make plans, and
provided options too.
Yeah. I mean, you did give him the option, so.
Yeah, and honestly, I had an old Morgan silver dollar, and I just kind of.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. No. one of them double-headed Morgan silver dollars. So.
Yeah.
So what was the wedding like? Big lavish Texas wedding like we used to see on Dallas, or was it something?
Well, had we not seen the weddings at Southport Ranch, we probably would have opted for that. But actually, it was a very quaint December wedding in the Ozark Mountains with a witness, a preacher, our daughter and us, snow flurries, a couple of resident deer, and a day much like today. It was very cold.
It was an Arctic blast on our
Yeah.
wedding day. No kidding. It went from like 60 degrees to 33 or something, and we were just like, can we just get over it? But it was good.
For the record, we're quite simple people, so we like simple. Simple is better.
So you'll have to excuse me. I don't know where the Ozarks are. So where?
Well, when you were in Dallas, if you just go 632 miles to the north by northeast, you'll be in the Ozarks.
Oh, okay.
Missouri.
Oh, okay.
Kevin, you know where Missouri is?
Where the Walmart headquarters is.
Okay, that's Bentonville, Arkansas.
We were just around the corner from there. What, an hour and a half? Or something?
Yep.
He knew that. You knew that,
Netflix
which is
show called
hilarious.
Ozarks.
Yeah, there is a Netflix show called
that
Ozarks.
show is amazing.
Netflix called the Ozarks.
Did you not watch it with Jason Bateman, Kevin?
I
No.
watched
Fantastic.
it. He doesn't watch
I loved
anything. He doesn't watch anything besides, the Ancient Aliens.
Yeah.
I just felt like it was a missed business opportunity because we thought about doing meth in the Ozarks way before they did. But
Yeah,
Couple poppy fields.
I'm telling you,
Perfect.
Is that what it's about?
That show was intense.
Okay, because I've seen a couple clips on TikTok, and I always wondered why Jason Bateman's character is so dark.
Oh,
But,
he's
yeah.
awesome.
Oh, it's fantastic.
They're
series.
awesome.
That's a great show, guys.
He was made for those kind of roles. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Oh.
really, because he always cut, I just love his character, but that, when he plays characters like that, I love it. Yeah, it suits him.
He
So-
was in the other movie that was The Gift, I think.
Yeah,
No.
The Gift.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was
that was good.
You just wanted him to get, at the end, you're like, man, you're such a jerk. You deserved all that. But
That's sweet. Jason Bateman was
Oh,
a
I
jerk.
know.
Oh my
I
gosh.
know.
Yes, he plays
Great
a good. He
movie.
plays a very good,
He's perfectly
directed to the point
correct.
jerk.
Yeah.
it's going pretty good.
Yeah. So Sharon, at what time where did your cigar journey come into play? Was it through Robert? Was it before smoking at Sparky's?
We didn't smoke cigars there. We smoked cigarettes, which I don't smoke anymore. I'm not a cigarette hater, but I mean, knowing what we know now, I just decided, I didn't want all that in my body. That's been a long time ago. But when we first met, we did enjoy cigars together. And it wasn't always so often, but I've always enjoyed cigars. Of course, I didn't know how much I had to learn until we got into the business, and it was like, wow, this is an amazing art, a craft. So it's been great, and that's how it started. And then he was in the business world for a long time, and I was raising kids and doing my share of philanthropy and community service. as a mom, and the business world wasn't so favorable for him, although he is brilliant and has bleeding edge, notions about technology and things that I can't even comprehend. It was during that 2008, 2009, where everybody, bad things were happening in the market, not, by any fault of ours. We decided we needed to do something different. And we've been married for 17 years, and we thought, we talked about it a long time. And he said, what do you think about going in the cigar business? And I said, well, I love cigars, and I think let's just do it. So, prayed about it a lot and decided this is what we were going to do. So here we are 10 years later, which is really hard to believe.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It is hard to believe. I mean, it's been, and like I said, beforehand, I said, I can't believe when I found one of the interviews with you talking about, the cigar, the Desert Rose, how long ago it'd been. It seemed like that had just come out. And then it's been,
I feel like that was
5 years.
That was one of my, I think, first cigars that I smoked that was like a Lancero.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Right in the garage.
I remember. I remember.
And I remember being like, "Why did you give me such a long?" Because I am not a Lancero or like any kind of like really long cigar type of person. And when I first started smoking, Kevin would like just throw different cigars at me, kind of like, "Here, try this," and I feel like this was one that we smoked when we were still doing stuff in the garage.
Oh yeah,
like 6 years ago. So
yeah,
like
or 4 years ago. Yeah,
4 was it?
Yeah,
4
like
we were
4 or
still
5
doing
years
it?
ago.
Yeah, I don't know.
So it's been a journey for us too. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, this was one of our first cigars.
Yeah.
It was smoking in
Now
the garage.
after the show, I'm going to go back. I'm going to find it because I know I have a picture on Instagram. I have to go all the way down and look, but I will find it.
That Rosa Sharon Lancero is phenomenal. That sort of small re-engage. I mean, you think once you get it out, you're like, this is going to take me forever to smoke.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
But it really, even being 7.5 inches, it's really a pretty quick smoke. And we actually originally released it in a 6.5 40, and then we later added an inch actually because our customers were saying, hey, we don't want it to be over. Can you give us a little more? So we did that. But yeah, thank you. Well, that's an honor. I'm glad you liked it.
I did. But I remember being like, why are you giving me this really like big cigar? But it actually ended up being like, I liked it because it didn't burn really, really super long, but it was just enough, So I really enjoyed that size for that cigar. So for me,
it's a great Lancero.
On that topic, I heard you guys while we were in the green room, 48.
48. I had it in my hand. I was like, I forgot all about it. And then I'm like, oh my God, I forgot to ask about that cigar.
One more thing. We also have a Desert Rose in that size currently for sale.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Well,
wow.
She calls it the Desert Rose. If you read the caption underneath our little frame here, you'll see the name of that cigar. It is called the Boss Lady. So she could be one up, but it is in fact a classic. I think a classic A is a 947, but it's a 948. We don't deal in metric too much, so even numbers. But I'll tell you, the Presidente really came out, and again, Jacob's lighter. Obviously that's our son Jacob, and he's just in the other room. And there was a purpose for releasing that Presidente. But during COVID, we weren't really out there promoting that cigar. So it was, I think, slowly adopted by the retailers. And then all of a sudden, we had 3 years worth of production coming out of the factory into the warehouse. And within 3 months, I think 4 months, we sold out for 3 years of what we had.
Wow.
And we don't do small batch stuff. We really don't, outside of, doing something for Abe, which is an arm twisting for us. But, we're talking 100,000 cigars of that, but we knew once we came out of COVID, it was time to release the Desert Rose in that size, and it didn't last. The whole year's production. How quickly did you move? She moves everything, right? I talk, she sells, but quick. I mean, we thought we'd have the entire year, and boy, the retailers got behind it, and
it's delicious. I would be normally intimidated by a cigar that long. I couldn't smoke the Presidente, but I definitely can smoke that Desert Rose.
So how long of a smoke is it?
It took me about 2 hours.
Okay, all right.
It's a commitment.
That's not too bad.
But I was drinking, believe it or not, I was drinking a stout. And I like a stout. I like a lot of flavor in my beer. And I like it to be rich and creamy. And that cigar just, believe it or not, I always say, even though you see that beautiful little innocent blonde wrapper and that pink label, don't let that fool you, because the Desert Rose, being a cloud-grown Connecticut, really has a lot more of that earthy punch to it. It has a little bit more Ligero, so you get a little more tooth in that one than you would the original Golden Sharon.
Now, Jen, that's what you're smoking tonight, right? Or you both are smoking?
Both are, yeah.
Oh, you guys are, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It definitely has some spice to it.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Tastes good.
Now, Jen, for everybody knows, she's only been smoking cigars for about 2 weeks now.
Since
January 2nd.
Congratulations!
Wow. I saw the comment saying, "Wow, look at Jess go," and I was like, "Wow, this is kind of a significant moment then, because
it is,
just started."
And
remind us, we were in the green room, but what are you smoking this evening?
I'm smoking the Jacob's Ladder. It'd be like I don't know. It had the cedar sleeve on it, so I couldn't remember if this looked like a Robusto.
No, that's just Robusto.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and then
and I'm just smoking the Kutsu.
She's smoking the Torpedo, which is my favorite.
To be fair, I have cigars in my humidor, and I pulled out a packet and I said, "Oh, do you have any Southern Draw cigars to smoke tonight?" He goes, "I put a whole bunch on the table," like snotty towards me. So I was like, "Okay," so I picked this one to smoke.
Yeah,
which is what I know he would have liked.
That's a lustrum.
And Jess, did that have a footband on it by any chance?
It did.
Yeah, the lustrum.
Yeah, and the soul vein was a little yellow. Yeah, can't really tell.
It's the rarest cigar Southern Draw's ever produced and released. So that's
he double missed out for being kind of sassy and rude to me about the cigar.
Look at that, Kevin. You be sassy.
That's it. Now, Jen, I know Kerr is a huge Lancero guy. Have you gotten into Lanceros yet?
I've had a couple. Well, I did in Las Vegas because at the time. Now, obviously, I've been around cigars for a long time. Listen to what you guys say, Kerr says, just the cigar industry, and definitely you need time. And that's where I get to the point of I feel like I need to finish, or because I have other things I need to do. Like a couple Saturdays ago, we were having coffee on our deck. We have woods as our backyard. It was very peaceful. I'm a coffee snob, drinking my coffee. And I'm like, I really need to go grocery shopping and get all my errands done. And it was a little frustrating on that. I don't have the
little bit.
I don't have the patience level yet. I talk a lot when I smoke, which is not good with Kerr because he likes it quiet. So, but in Nevada, it was great because it was peaceful and we're sitting and smoking. And I just, again, the whole patience level, I'm a science person, been in science my whole life. So I start trying to dissect it with,
loudly.
I'm vocal with it. I'm from New Jersey and I'm opinionated. And I get frustrated that I don't taste the transitions that others do. I don't taste the flavor profiles. I taste things which, in my mind, since I'm so into coffee, where I research coffee like I do that, like we do with cigars and backgrounds and whatnot. I try to do that, as well as we're foodies and I cook a lot. So using different seasonings and spices, I try to play on that with the cigars, but I'm obviously so new with it. Again, I'm a former cigarette smoker. So for years, it's been 9 years since I quit smoking. And I always wanted to try cigars. I felt though that I'd be ruining, so to speak, to put it bluntly, not smoking for so long. And then turning 50 this year, which I turned 50 yesterday, I'm like, I need to get over that whole, it's not cigarette smoke and it is relaxing and I enjoy it. And it's something we can do together as a couple. I went and bought cigars today from a local shop of ones I wanted to try. And, now, unfortunately, he knows I'm going to be shopping more, but maybe it'll be acceptable because it will be cigars.
Yes, the extra chatter in those relaxing moments when Jennifer decided to smoke cigars, I felt like Superman hanging out in the Fortress of Solitude. And then Lois Lane walks in and goes, "What are you doing? Are you smoking that? Do you know what the flavor is? I'm not getting this."
Like, what's the difference with the cuts? Should it be this? Like, there should be I'm a very black and white person and very analytical. So there should be a reason of why. Oh, look at the kitty. And I'm like a squirrel too. Like,
exactly. Look at kitty.
Yeah, you should bring that up here.
But
there should be a reason why it tastes like
I thought a kitty walked by. I didn't know Robert
was there. I looked at the garage door. I was
yeah.
That looks like our chunk, exactly like her.
Jen, you know what though? You talk about you having to go food shopping and all that stuff. You can smoke cigars fast. There's no rule that says that you have to sit there and there are people who will tell you they're either really fast cigar smokers or they're the type that sit back and relax and really sometime take their time with a cigar. I think it's fine. Like me personally, when I first started, I kind of struggled a little bit too. Like, am I smoking this cigar long enough? Like, is there a rule? And then I was like, you know what?
Like it's the torpedoes, the petite Coronas. It just seems like a perfect size.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Allotted to it. I also.
This is 6x44.
Go ahead and hotbox it, Jen. Yeah. Just do it.
It's just the whole patience of, and I get bored. Like even with watching shows or movies, it's like, okay, I'm done. Let's watch something else.
I don't know. For me, when I smoke in my car, so does Kevin.
I won't smoke
I know, and that's what I was gonna say. So that maybe is not an option for you, but we do. We don't care.
So Sharon, what would be some of the advice, and then even Jessica and Jen, what would be some of the advice you'd give Sharon to some of the women out there, that maybe like Jen, she's been with Kerr's been in the cigar industry for years, like thinking, I may want to jump into this. What kind of advice would you give those women?
Think about what kind of food you like. Okay, what kind of drink you like. If you like alcoholic beverages, you like, that kind of thing. So for me, I try to find cigars that are sort of like to play in that realm of flavors. I do tend to like something with a lot of flavor, but I don't want it to be real strong. Same with food. Robert likes to eat really spicy over the top food, and he can smoke a cigar like that too. I think you need to go easy on yourself, Jen. Don't expect to know everything right off the bat because it's going to take you a while to master what you like. And, it does matter what you've eaten. It does matter what you've drank before you smoke a cigar. So I think for me, one of the best times to try a cigar that I've never had is to, I don't know if fast is the right word, but just give your palate a rest for a few hours, drink water, and go out and try that cigar on that clean palate. Mm-hmm. And you're really going to get a true representation of that cigar.
Because I dove headfirst into dark cigars. I love the strength of them. And there was one, I think it was last week and also in Vegas, it had such a great spice to it that, your lips are tingly and just really I described it as, because I like my coffee dark and my espresso even darker to the point where it's almost burnt and I need a thickness to it, like a nice viscosity. So with cigars, I like to have it where it's almost that burnt, but you're just right on that border. So I thought it was odd that I went right for and loved the darker ones. And then 2 weekends ago, Kerr brought a couple out onto the deck and was having me sample. And I liked the Candela. I really thought that was an interesting contrast to it. And his deconstructed barber poles, he said, okay, smoke a barber pole. And then I did a Candela and then the other component. And I knew there was a difference. I just couldn't say in words what that actually was, but I knew the difference was there. And it was neat to then put it together with smoking a barber pole. So like I said, I've been in science my whole life in medicine, and just to really kind of break it down, it's almost like a crazy experiment, theory, is it plausible, not like it's hard to turn off my science and
I would agree with you.
Yeah.
I would say that I'm a science girl. I would say definitely there's so much science going on in your cigar. I mean,
yeah.
When you think about it takes 300 hands to make one cigar. Okay, that's the art part of it, but the science of the fermentation and the aging,
exactly,
and the way that you keep it in your humidor, and I'm sure you guys know all about all of that, but it's just fun if you're just sitting there and you're, I'm usually on my phone grocery shopping at Target or our local TV, and I rarely go get my groceries anymore. I just have them deliver them, so I'm doing that out there or whatever, but I think you would enjoy diving into the science of the tobaccos.
I do. I research it, and I'll start the different tobaccos, like the countries I've always wanted to go to with even previous to smoking cigars, where I could see the whole coffee aspect of it, and Kerr could do the cigars. Now I just want to do both. Like we're such a huge coffee household where we only have whole beans and very, very particular on what we use to bring the cigars into. And again, I cook a lot and I love to cook, and the kitchen's my fortress of solitude. So to be able to pair certain foods.
I'm not allowed in your kitchen.
No, you're not. And I grill as well. He's not even allowed to grill. That's all me.
Well, you can come visit me anytime. I don't like it.
I'm there. I'll cook for you.
Now, Robert, you guys don't have a candela in your life. Have you ever worked with the tobacco?
No and yes. No, we don't have one. Here's an interesting a little tidbit. We just finished our 10th year of production with our longtime partner. Most people now know him, maybe not so much 10 years ago, but AJ Fernandez, which has been our partner for 10 years now. And even though we handed him about 2 reams of paper for this long-term contract years ago, we settled out of court on a handshake and a promise. And the handshake was this: we will do everything you ask and do it how you ask us and deliver it to you, and then you write us a check. And if you don't write us a check or it doesn't clear the bank, we're not going to do all those things that you're going to ask, Robert, because we're very particular. Yes, we're small, but our goal was to be very consistent, sustainable. We don't do anything really to invest time and resources that aren't going to affect the mission, which is charitable giving and service and various things, which we can get into later. But the caveat of that was AJ asked me one thing in 2013 that was off limits. Never, ever asked me to work with unfermented tobacco, aka candela.
Really?
Wow.
Double Claro. He said, I'm not doing it. I'm not touching it. I'm probably allergic to it. It's the wrong color. It's the wrong taste. And there's other people that'll just do fine with it, and you just do it. And what's funny is we've had some of the biggest retailers in the world, because I have blended with it, which is the other side of it. And 1 or 2 cigars that have utilized it, I have enjoyed over the years. One of which was Romacraft's version. And it may be, and one of your sponsors too, the Illusione, because we actually have brokers that are Illusione brokers as well. So we've had a chance we've smoked everything. It's not like I haven't smoked for 30 years, but
that makes it
I'm going to give you a tidbit. In the last 4 years, something I really wanted to do, which she doesn't know about, is I wanted to celebrate the success of the Rose of Sharon. It's absolutely a masterful representation of her character. I mean, really, it is that beauty, that grace, that brand. It's been all about her, and it always will be. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to release an annual release called the Irish Rose. And I wanted to do a candela, Ecuadorian Connecticut, a little play on that, a little subtler. And I wanted it to have that kind of that grassy, kind of tangy on the tongue, flavor profile. And I thought it was unique. And my partner said, absolutely not. We're not doing it. So, no, we don't have one. But yes, I've worked with it.
Oh, man, like that would be a fantastic cigar. Because there aren't, like I say, in the cigar industry, and I really don't think there's any two people that love Candela more than Kerr and I. Like, everybody knows that. I was just actually commenting yesterday. I was smoking a cigar. Someone asked me if I ever had the Roma Craft Fomorian, their Candela. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. The 858, or not the 858, the 88 Illusione. Fantastic Candela. Sharon, what is your thoughts, Candela?
I just gotta say, Irish Rose. Oh hell no! It has to be a Boston,
Irish
Rose.
No,
From the commit.
No.
But before she jumps in, but to the comment there, here's the funny thing is we have a great, my book is not something I share with people, which are blends and brands and stories. And if you know us, you know that every one of these blends tell a story of influential people in our lives. And in most cases, in the order in which they influenced my life, right? But all of these extensions of the Rose of Sharon that are in my heart, right, or in my soul, that have been in the planning, friggin' Boston Scally Company is now starting to put them out as hats, as limited edition hats. And I'm looking at it going, what they do steal my book, because we are making some lids with them. But all of a sudden in the last 2 weeks, I've seen all these ideas that I had planned for the future extensions of Rose of Sharon being captured and claimed by the Boston Scally Hat Company. So somebody who did something right, but now I feel like we can't do it. I know there's no crossover, but Boston Irish Rose makes a lot of sense.
That would be really good, because I can tell you Candela and Connecticut, and that if you did a barber pole, because we do a gringo that uses the Connecticut Candela together, is such a great combo. Mm-hmm. It really is.
And I have not
very tasty
much Candela. I can't.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, I am definitely the probably least Candela person. Like, I have had it like Kevin's a huge Candela fan, and I'm like, hard pass.
Yeah,
I'll try them, but for the most part, it's just not in my wheelhouse. I just don't like the bitterness.
Yeah,
I liked it just because I started smoking initially. It's only been a couple weeks. Just starting with such strong dark cigars in the Big Tony, the dark barber pole, to have the Sweetgrass Gringo to contrast, and I'm like, wow, this is refreshing. So I really, and I smoked some other Candelas. I'm like, I do like it. So it's odd, and I know people don't like it, and it's hard for me to comprehend that.
Well, you're very brave as a new smoker. I mean, I wouldn't have touched a Maduro when I first started. I was scared. So I'm still a little scared of that brimstone. Not that I should be, but it's so powerful, and I can do the Jacob's Ladder and the Lancero, but that's about as stout as I get.
That brimstone. I'd even, I think I wrote in my blog. I mean, it looks dark. It looks scary. It looks intimidating. And it's a powerful cigar, but man, is it so well balanced. I mean, it's coming
from you. It says a lot.
It's coming from me because I am not a powerhouse cigar. Everybody in the industry knows that. I don't smoke Padrones because they kick my butt, and because they're too strong. And that's why the reason I don't smoke a lot of Romas, because they're just too strong. But that brimstone, it's strong, but it's so perfectly balanced. Like, you don't notice like that strength. It's just, I don't know what it is.
Well, for us, the intention of that cigar, having a characteristic that we put quite simply, which is bold but approachable. And the way to achieve that for us was early on, the Kudzu was our original blend, Firethorn soon thereafter, but Jacob's Ladder was our fourth core blend that came out. So it took all of those years, about 4 years, to master what we believe was the fermentation techniques of that Pennsylvania broadleaf and those selected Ligeros, so that you had a naturally fermented a blend that would actually not smolder like an old tire and be spicy and bitter and black peppery in your teeth. It's not Dominican, it's Pennsylvania broadleaf, but it has a very clear Nicaraguan character of it, I think, where it's created a balance. I think it was the age, but moreover, it was the aggressive fermentation from the wrapper all the way to the filler. And you're talking about a 5-year process to make that cigar. So it was almost 5 years since we started that project when we released it. But we haven't deviated from that in any of the sizes. Even adding the triple Ligero to the Brimstone, it still has to us a bold but approachable kind of a personality to it.
What I find interesting, sorry, what I find
go ahead.
Is that people that love the Jacob's Ladder, bold but approachable, but also smoke the Rose of Sharon because it's got that flavor. It's again, that light colored wrapper and that pink label, but when you smoke it, it's not mild. It is flavorful and bold, but it definitely has the Connecticut flavors to it. Anyway, I just find that interesting. I learned that early on. Like, wait, you like the Jacob's Ladder, but you smoke the Rose.
Oh, exactly. And when I was looking on the website, and when I saw that,
sorry, I was just going to say too, though, but it goes back to what you said earlier about, food, like what you eat is important, what you drink is important. Also, the time of day you're smoking certain cigars, I feel like is important.
Yeah, I wouldn't smoke a Brimstone for breakfast.
Yeah, that, So sorry, go ahead.
That's it. But I was reading it said triple Ligero, and I'm smoking it, and I'm like, man, I wish we could come up with a different term because that term triple Ligero scares so many people.
Yeah,
but because the majority of cigars, they always seem like they're under fermented. They're way too strong. You get that nicotine, and on yours, it's not your regular triple Ligero because it's so smooth. Yeah,
and we never disparage the other brand in the process of they are what they are and they have a purpose. But it was executed exactly for what we wanted, which is a deep, dark, rich Maduro, but something that we believe everyone can smoke in some capacity. Now, a little side story. I'll take up 1 second because
take your time
of your main Drew Estate sponsor there. This is a true story because he's a territory manager for Drew Estate, and I wanted to compliment our good friend in North Carolina, South Carolina, parts of Georgia, and Florida. But many years ago, when we released the Jacob's Ladder Gordo, the 6.5 by 60, at the trade show. The day before the trade show, I had seen him in the Carolinas before we went to Vegas, and he said, I want to be the first. And he was working at our big retail store at the time because I want to be the first to smoke the new Gordo 6.5 60. And I said, well, we're going to set up at about 7. By 8 o'clock, we're going to have coffee. So come over and see us before the show opens, and you can be the first. And he's a big guy, and everybody knows who he is, and he's probably watching the show. But about an hour later, my mother-in-law says, man, there's a really large guy over there that has like 3/4 of this Jacob's Ladder sticking out of his mouth. He's by the black curtains. I think he's talking to his wife, but I don't think he's conscious. But it was like that he smoked this thing. And I said, I told you this thing. And I mean, popped him pretty good. But I was
communicating. Are you talking about Will? Are you talking about Will McFall?
Well,
yeah.
Because I was going to say, were you in North Carolina at Anstead's?
Yeah, we were. It just left right before the trade show.
Oh, that's funny because that's where my son goes there. That's where he's stationed. He sees Will all the time.
My sister, brother-in-law, they're all retired from Fort Bragg.
Okay, awesome. That's funny.
And he's known my sister even longer for other parts of their career. So
Will is amazing. Will's amazing.
I'm going to see Will this Friday.
Yeah, well, tonight he and I were going back and forth, and he said, "Hey, when can we get together?" And we haven't had a cigar and hung out in a while, and he was just checking on us, and I just thought it was kind of ironic that we're talking about this cigar, and he was the first guy to ever smoke.
How cool!
Oh, wow.
And the first guy to almost pass out from the. So Kerr definitely.
I don't know if it's an almost. I think it actually happened. I think.
now you're scared.
Yeah.
Come on.
He was out on his feet.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh my God!
That's
So
funny.
I have to say real quick, the Brimstone, albeit what it is also available in a Lonsdale. And with a 12-count box. If you want to try the Brimstone and you're a little bit timid to try it in the 656 or the Presidente, or please try it in the Lonsdale. It is beautiful. I have smoked part of a Lonsdale and I loved it. I mean, it was great.
It's a perfect cigar.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's. I mean, when you start out in this industry, working with your retailers and being a consumer yourself, it's undeniable that 80+ of all sales are Robusto, Toro, or Gordo, right? That combination. So we have to do those things. But if you know us well, we couldn't wait to get to a point where, as brand owners, we were able to put our sacred sizes, our classic thin sizes on the market. So A, the Lancero, first and foremost. B, obviously the 644 Lonsdale. We've tried 100 different sizes, right? But before this year is up, we expect that all the core lines, all the core brands of Southern Draw will in fact have an accompanying Lonsdale in a 12-count box. And that's all about price point, so that people can buy a box of their favorite size cigars without reaching too deep into the budget every month. So the 12-count boxes for us are always reserved for the Lonsdale, because it's a personal favorite.
And may I shamelessly plug the Desert Rose Lonsdale 12-count dozen roses for Valentine's Day?
Oh my God, I did not know that.
I'll take one.
Brilliant.
I'll take them.
Okay.
That is brilliant. Oh my God.
I love it.
Well, this guy's pretty brilliant over here. I just try to sell the product. No.
But for the record, since she did that, you ought to give him a discount code or something. Somebody can make money with it. But on the box, if you read the box, it does in fact say 1 dozen roses. Yeah,
Nice.
I mean,
Oh, how cool is
Oh.
that? That's right.
Fine.
And you want to know what's really cool though too is that there are just so many more women smokers out there now, like that are at least now like showing that they smoke cigars. I mean, I think there's been a ton of women who smoke cigars. They just have never really been in the forefront, like face
Closet
wise.
smokers.
Yeah, well, or just it wasn't like a thing. Like social media has obviously like helped blow people up, but like that's a cool idea. That is.
And I just lit up the Cedrus. This is fantastic. I love the richness of this. I can't tell you really what the flavor is, except the strength. I love the strength of it.
A whole lot of yumminess.
It is, and the feel of it, the side, like this.
I tell you, like I said, I envy Jen. I envy new cigar smokers that are starting off in this journey, because it's so cool. I mean, there's so many great cigars. I know about Kerr and Robert. When we take cigars for granted, I know I do. But Jen, like I said, I'm so envious. She's getting to try, Southern Draw Cigars with the owners of Southern Draw Cigars. Like, how often
Kevin,
does
send me
that
some
happen?
cigars. I'll try more.
How often does that happen?
See, Kevin and I are very different cigar smokers, and obviously we have different palates, but Kevin's a creature of habit somewhat, and I try all kinds of stuff that he's like, looks at me, he's like, why? And I'm like, because I love trying different cigars and seeing what's out there. A lot of times we go to like places and they have like no bands on them. I'm like, yes, please. I don't care what it is, where it comes from. Like, I just kind of want to have the experience of the cigar, not really know anything. So it's kind of like a blind, like
we're the same type of shopper,
review.
Jess.
Yeah.
And palate too.
Similar. Yeah, we are very similar.
I love trying new cigars. I love trying to house blend something different, something hard to find. If there's not a band on it and it's hidden back somewhere and it looks good, I want to try it.
Yeah. Even us, for every cigar we released, there were 20 that we didn't. And it is about every size, every format, round, soft box press, a complete box press. We get to try those samples, and we don't just make 20 or 40 or 50. I mean, if you look at posts over the last 3 or 4 years, you'll probably see that 80% of my posts on behalf of the company are in fact unbanded cigars. Now, as we came out of COVID up to last year, a lot, 20 or 30 special projects a year. Now, the problem with those special projects, they take the same amount of time, effort, energy, and resource as a full production. So we're actually pulling way back away from doing those much anymore. But that means when we do get together, there's always a little tub of something without a band that had a purpose. And consequently, I mean, what we're launching Wednesday with Smoke In is a cigar that was slated for full production 10 years ago. And the reality of it is, we could not afford to put that cigar out and sell it. Nobody would have bought it for what it would have cost. We're not royalty. We're not pedigreed. We've sold tens of millions of cigars. We've been blessed, but that's not our pedigree. It's not our family. So we can't we can't charge based on that. But the cigar that's coming out special at us, because 10 years ago we wanted to put it out. It won a space in the rotation. We just couldn't afford to. We couldn't afford the tobaccos.
That's it. We got a question here.
Poker to sample. You can send them on this.
Yeah, that's it.
So back on it.
My buddy Dave, he's a broker out in Atlanta. I had sent you a message, Robert, and I probably didn't get the chance to see it. Do you have reps out in the Atlanta area?
Obviously, to be clear, we have brokers, right? We
don't okay.
And the reason why I didn't answer, I did see it. I didn't want it to appear as calling out a broker that's somewhere faded into the background that's been with us for 9 years. So I figured I was just going to send you the contact information and let you know. And I have no idea how this is part of our struggle that we've just spent the last 3 weeks on, which is how do we get our finger back on the pulse of all of our markets that have brokers for so long, because they have multiple brands and loyalties, and I get it, but we have a lot of responsibility for the 2 or 3 of us here running the company. But we really need to get back out there and put our finger back on the pulse so that people know that we are approachable. We always have been. But I think they think we're too busy to respond to them, and maybe they don't reach out. But we encourage our retailers and even customers to go, hey, this is where I go and we're out. We haven't had the new stuff. We haven't seen anybody. That doesn't hurt our feelings. Actually, we appreciate the feedback. So I'm going to take that as a teaching moment to say, Sharon and I are approachable, and Alex as well, our ops manager, and we need to hear these things, because a market like Atlanta should never run out of Southern Draw.
No, because I was going to say that the Atlanta cigar vibe is everything.
Oh, it's alone up.
But it's such a cool vibe. If we lived in Atlanta, it would just be cigar fun all the time. Atlanta's just got that vibe right now. But so that would be cool.
That's it. So,
people approach.
So Dave, if you're hawking your cigars and people were asking about Southern Draw, definitely have them reach out to Sharon and the company, and maybe the broker broker can
well, even in South Carolina, it's blowing up. Greenville alone, there's lounges that have popped up left and right.
Yeah, we probably had about a half a dozen pop up over the last 12 to 18 months.
Yep, right in our own.
God bless. I think the more the merrier. The problem for us, Kerr, is that we don't knock on doors and request somebody. We just don't. It's never been our policy to knock and go, well, here, we're Southern Draw. Hey, you have to try to think about it. Because there's enough contact, social media recognition that usually, if they truly want the brand, they'll reach out. And the beauty of doing that is they get to work with this lady, right? If I was a new shop owner, the first person in the world I would want to work with, it's not because I'm married to her. I would want to be treated the way she treats people. I would want to be asked about how I'm doing and the family's doing and the business is doing, anything you can do way before I get an order, right? So God bless her. I don't have that same talent, right? So, but any shop that wants to carry Southern Draw, we have each quarter, each year, we review and we try to make sure we can allocate to open new shops and grow, because it's easy to get caught up with the 500 or 600 other accounts that you've had, because we appreciate the loyalty. But if your goal 10 years ago was to, at some point, God willing, and as the creeks don't rise, as we say, that every retail store in America, that a customer could go within 30 minutes of their home, and we're not talking about the Dakotas or Wyoming. For the populated areas, you should be able to see a local retail store within 30 minutes to find Southern Draw. And if not, we failed, right? So we need to get back to focusing on making sure that we're fulfilling that need to get some real estate so that people have it convenient and they can support local shops.
And you can go to our website. A shout out to our web designer, Jonathan Gollins. He actually developed a map. So you can go on there and poke in your zip code, and you can find a shop that carries Southern Draw on that map. So you don't have to, And we're in the process, being the new year, of updating that list and making sure it's correct for our customers.
That's awesome.
They can necessarily carry everything, but they do have Southern Draw.
So now, Sharon, how often have you? I'm sure you've gotten down to the factories before. How often do you get down to the factories to, either learn new stuff, see how the cigars are being made, tinker?
I do want to just interrupt for 1 second. We are going to ask a question about these.
The picadillo, yes.
Yeah,
just hang tight.
just-
That's coming up shortly.
Okay, sure. So when we first started, I mean, it was head down, processing orders. I did not have a mobile office at that point for the first probably 4 years. And so I was really kind of anchored to the home office, not the home office, the office and home office now. But, and so I didn't get to go to the factory. And then when I was ready to go, there was civil unrest. And it was kind of dangerous for probably a couple of years, maybe, where Robert didn't feel like it was the right time. And then miraculously, I got to go in November of 2019, right before, COVID. And it was wonderful. I mean, I found myself in tears the whole time, just thinking these incredible people make our product. And if they didn't do a good job, we would be out of business. I mean, the blending is obviously very important, but the construction of the tobaccos, the aging, all of those things. I mean, I gave a lot of hugs and kisses, and it was such a incredible event. And I was able to be down there for a week. We stayed at AJ's place, and it was phenomenal. And I encourage anybody that has an opportunity to go to a factory to jump on it, go. It's just, I mean, it makes you appreciate being a cigar smoker, even as my pastor says, on a whole nother level. I mean, you just are in complete awe when you see the magnitude of production.
Have you tried tinkering? Like taking some tobaccos
and I was quick. I'm terrible. I mean, I tried to roll a cigar. Don Elsa helped me, and I think if I were in there for a few days, I'd probably get the hang of it. But
it's hard. It's hard to roll.
If you probably know, being that you're in this, you enjoy cigars and you enjoy the education part of it. Lanceros are very hard to make.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have people that are skilled on a higher level, and their hands have to be able to wrap that cigar perfectly, or it's not gonna burn right. It's not gonna taste right. So you're not gonna get the right. All of our cigars are draw tested for 40 pounds of pressure, but just to have the few people that make our Lanceros, I mean, it's an honor. And I think their job.
You said something that I have asked 1,000 times, and no manufacturer has ever told me what they draw test their cigars to. And I don't know if it's a secret or if they don't know, but I'm like, what do you draw test to?
Maybe I wasn't supposed to say that.
For the most part, it's not a secret. It's most standards are a batch testing, not every cigar, which I couldn't imagine if I made 25 or 30 million cigars that we couldn't do it either. But there's always a tolerance, right? I mean, if you understand, a magnehelic gauge and its purpose, to measure airflow from point A to point B, and you got all these different sizes, which means you got to have all these different vacuum tubes, right? You got to have something for everything. So if you're a major factory owner and you make cigars for 20 companies, think about the amount of labor it takes just to test those, right? Yeah. So to be an exacting standard is a very difficult proposition. But for us, if you're going to build on something, consistency has to be it for us. Mm-hmm. And then sustainability was a secondary focus. So for us, it started that way, and we've been able to maintain it that way. But you really go into the production planning and forecasting of every single cigar and size to make sure that you get the consistency that you're trying to do. You can't just shotgun blast and say, I want all these cigars made and all these blends and sizes, go. It doesn't work that way. You've got to be very hands-on and very direct on what you're trying to achieve for every single cigar. But for us, 40 pounds may not be perfect for any of the 6 of us on this, but it's perfect scientifically. And if it's perfect scientifically, it's something we can replicate, and that replication creates the consistency that we strive for. So to say that 36 or 35 to 42 pounds is achievable and tolerant, that's fine. It's great. Some of us like looser, some of us like tighter, smaller cigars. We don't want them so tight. Bigger cigars, maybe you want them tighter because they'll produce a lot of tobacco. But for our blends and our sizes that we chose, it is optimal in our experience to really stay to the 40-pound.
Okay, so it's 40 across. Whether it's a Lancero or a Gordo, it's always that same.
Correct.
40 pounds. Okay.
Correct.
So
I don't know if you have seen any of our early advertising, but we used to say, I don't even know if it was a hashtag back then. I don't think it was, but it was simply perfect draw, because that was what was important to us, or one of the aspects that was important to us is that consistency. So
I'm such a nerd. I want a draw tester just so I can start cutting some cigars and it's like I just want that, just for the sake of having it.
That's your new job.
That's
what you need to do.
I'll cut the cap and then put it on there, and that's one more piece of knowledge that I don't need.
I know. Somebody had a question. How did you make the Rose of Sharon Lancero in a box press? Great cigar, very smooth.
Great question. Well, just like any other box press cigar that we have, every cigar that Southern Draw makes is a round cigar. Number one, every cigar. And then over time, we've decided the Rose of Sharon is, in fact, a soft box press. So it's about 1/2 the pneumatic pressure that it takes, and about half the time that an extreme or a full box press takes, i.e. the Kudzu Bellicoso or the Kudzu box press cigars. So at 7.5 by 40 round cigar, it takes about a 24-hour process with a couple of rotations to ensure that soft press without being too extreme. And why not extreme? A, it would be a little bit too tight in a Lancero format, and B, it would crack that very thin wrapper. Even with the heavy binder behind that, you need a softer press on that to be a better experience. And that's, intentional for us. But if you haven't seen a factory tray, we'd be glad to, matter of fact, I can go get one right now. I'll go grab a factory tray and you'll understand how we place the cigars into that tray.
Just real fast, we are going to do a little sneak peek.
Yes, Ryan, we'll be talking about the 2023 release here towards the end of the show.
Everybody's got some really good comments and questions tonight. You guys
I want a very clear sign, Kevin.
Yeah.
So here you go. Here's some more science, right?
All right, factory tray, right? Just a little over 1/4 inch in depth all the way around. This is actually the Desert Rose Lonsdale, which is round, and that was intentional. So what we would do for that question is we would align these with the round Rose Lanceros. We would put wooden slats in between each one of those. We would stack these trays horizontally, and then we would apply manually via a vise, manual pressure, which I'm not going to reveal exactly how much pressure the process is for that. And then that would be rotated 4 times each time we would turn that cigar, which gives it more of a rounded, softer approach in this particular cigar. Others, we apply twice as much pressure for twice as long to get that shape to hold. But it is all done manually, no machines in this case.
And talking with one, and he's no way he's watching tonight, but one thing, and I won't mention his name, that he told me the number, like the biggest where Lanceros go wrong, especially a Lancero or a box press or even a soft box press Lancero, is that turning. If you're turning them, it's so easy to twist that cigar as you're picking it up. You're picking it up, you're turning it, and if your hands aren't the same speed, you twist that cigar a little bit. You do that 4 times. Now you have what we all have experienced is a completely locked up
coffee straw.
First step. Interesting. Kevin, when we first decided to put out the Lanceros, obviously we tried a lot of things. What is a classic Lancero? 7.5 by 38. What we found, and we did do 7, 6.5, 7.5, 38 Lanceros in all the samples. But if you really want to address the 2 concerns that we have as consumers, which is quality, the smoking experience of a Lancero, can you be consistent with that cigar? What we found with our blends is, for example, Jim is smoking the Cedrus Lancero. Everything is a 40 ring gauge, because what we found with our cigars is a little less temperamental. It expanded the amount of buncher rollers in the factory that could actually make that cigar and make it consistent. But more importantly, if you smoke the Cedrus or the Rose of Sharon or the Kudzu Lancero, they are all, in fact, box pressed. Now, the Firethorn, the Jacob's Ladder, however, there has been a Jacob's Ladder box press Lancero, and we just made a bunch more. And then the Manzanita, those are all round, and it's not a happenstance. There's a reason for what we've done there. But the 7.5 by 40 created the optimal size for the process that we've employed for our particular blends. So that's why we chose that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I had to go get my sweater. I was getting
I was going to say, you're wearing a T-shirt.
Not a problem.
Before.
And you just spoke about Jacob's Ladder,
Yeah.
and I know you've talked about this before, but for this person and anybody listening, the name Jacob's Ladder, where did that come from?
Well, first of all, Ethan Jacob is our son. And for those people that don't know, he's about 6'3" now. He's been on the diet, but he's a big, bold, strong kid. And as I said before, the only thing I had left to give this world was use tobaccos and our branding to think and to acknowledge very influential people, right? So some of those were military community globally. Some of those were the communities that supported our military and our bases and the challenges that a lot of us had during that time. Some of them, if we're lucky, are our best friend and spouse and business partner, which is Rose of Sharon. But what I wanted to do, because this was not an arbitrary, nor was it a community decision, we talk a lot about new generation being softer or more selfish or lazy, or they have alternative views on how things should be done. And I see this, and I've seen it for many years, but now at almost 23 years old, what we realized and what I realized was that we had a son that was bold and he was approachable. He still had that sweet element for a big, strong kid. He didn't have that cockiness that a lot of the people that I saw his age had, but he also had that heart of service, that heart of gold, what we call that old soul, where he wanted to take care of everyone, no matter who they were. It's something that he got from this lady. But when he was given the name Jacob because of the biblical reference. Again, Jacob, and I was just looking at the art when I went in to get that tray on the wall for the Jacob's Ladder. The original art from that is owned by the Vatican, and it's a reference to Jacob's dream, Jacob and Esau. So Jacob had a dream of these angels climbing up and down the ladder, and they were coming to explain to him that he had a role and a responsibility that was greater than himself, which was for all people, to be the leader of all. And we always envisioned that Ethan, Jacob, someday would take the helm, take Southern Draw into the new generation. We'll reach our generation like all of us are here. But we wanted to, at some point, be able to let Jacob take the lead, take the helm, and control the future of where this brand and the message is going. So the cigar was named for him, but he was named for something even greater than that.
That's awesome.
That's
great
Story.
That is awesome. And then, going into the biblical, you also have another biblical reference on the Rose of Sharon. Was it Sola de Gloria? Is that how you pronounce that?
Sola de Gloria.
So what is the translation, and what does that mean to each of you? Does it mean the same? Does it mean something a little different?
When we first were designing the brand, the bands, I said, we would be amiss to not give our creator a nod, at least, for bringing us together, for inspiring us, and for, because if that's not first, nothing else matters. And so I think that originally we didn't realize, I think at that time, how much that would really resonate in our marriage and our business, and ultimately how close we are now. You go back 10 years ago, man, I mean, we were crazy going into business together, husband and wife, but through God's grace, we've separately, become closer in our faith, and it's made a huge difference. And so Soli Deo Gloria is to God be the glory alone. Gotta give him credit because it's very important. And for us, it is the most important thing. So it is what we start our day with. It's how we get through every day. It's instruction. It's promise, and it's grace. And we all need a lot of that. I know I do. I'm very hard-headed. He won't tell you that, but I am.
Oh, she's hard. Did I miss that point earlier?
Yeah.
I mean, to use what he's asking.
And I'm not going to expand on it too far because you covered it well. It does in Latin. You'll notice that the cigar industry utilizes a lot of Spanish references because of the history, tradition, culture, pedigrees of the godfathers, kings, and queens of this industry. And we've referenced that. And we've always wanted to be, on our own path. We want to feel like we're a burden that we used, abused in any way. We want to do something unique and special. We want to honor very influential people. And we want to support this humble, hardworking art of Nicaragua, Honduras, Dominican Republic, and we can go on and on and on. And at the end of the day, if you want to support food, shelter, clothing, education, healthcare, let people truly express themselves, and then you sit down and you burn what they created and they have to do it again, that's perpetual. That's called perpetual. And so working together here today and all your audience, we're perpetually creating opportunity for the next generation to have food, shelter, clothing, education, healthcare, and maybe hopes of something else, right? So I can't think of anything else in the world that takes more cooperation than the simple art of what it takes to create a cigar. So that's number one. Number two, Soli Deo Gloria is not just on the Rose of Sharon. On all of the core blends of Southern Draw, it is there, quite visible. Most of those have a reference that are biblical and or in a Latin biblical reference, i.e. the cedrus, even manzanita. But when I first came out with the Southern Draw bands, it was a single band design. I thought we would have the kudzu and the firethorn blend, and we would do our best, and we'd make 50,000, and we just hope everything was going to be okay. And right there on the band had a little text, a little font that said Soli Deo Gloria, kind of in that Georgia font, which is what our font really was, because it was Southern. And and my wife looked at it and said, that ain't going to get it. I need it bigger, and I needed it bolder. I needed it prominent. I need it right there in the middle so everybody sees it. So not ironical that she got her way and it's there, because this is the end of what I wanted to explain. For the first 17 years of our marriage, coming out of the military, coming out of college, I worked for some of the largest wireless telecom companies in the world. I saw the top of the mountains, but I also saw the bottom of the valleys. In doing that, we were entrepreneurs. We created incredible wealth. We lost incredible wealth, all of it my fault. And that's okay, because I can acknowledge that. But making a decision to do something together was so that we had balance, so that we had somebody we could depend on, somebody that we could trust. And ultimately, the reason why that print is so large on those bands is it's a daily reminder to us, and more importantly to Robert, that the priorities must be in order. All the priorities I thought I had before, they're out the window. So we get a lot of pressure from this industry. There's a lot of standards and norms, and people think we've disappeared. We've grown every year. We've been blessed, but we have a lot of responsibility. But the most important responsibility we have is keeping our priorities straight, whether people agree or don't agree. That's why it's there.
You had mentioned the telecom business, and like I said, and marriages go through a lot. I remember, Robert, you were telling us last time you were on the show, about you flying back home to Austin from Kingston, Jamaica, to tell Sharon that, you guys had lost, or you had lost everything. I remember you saying you're sitting down, you're eating tacos, you're having a drink, and you're having to tell Sharon, that everything was gone. Sharon, what was going through your mind at that time? He's telling you that, because that's, money is the biggest relationship breaker nowadays. Did you think that, I don't know, like what was going through your mind, if you don't mind me asking?
I have to think back. I I tend to be, I'm not a worrywart. I think that is because I do have a lot of faith that, you know, you've heard it said when one door closes, another, you know, a window will open. That's been my experience. I don't think money's the most important thing in the world. I think it can corrupt. I think material objects can cloud your life. We had come through a lot already financially. And I just, I think I'm a problem solver. So I think we just sat there and we started talking about what are we going to do? What are we going to do? You know, and we're not going to go hungry. We have family. We have, you know, if it came down to it, we have people we can reach out to. So in that moment, I think I do what I normally do, which is, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Is anybody going to die? No. And, you know, I always kind of put it in that perspective in the cigar industry. If a customer calls me panicked, I don't let that resonate with me. I say to myself, and this may be a selfish thing to say, was, you know, God, I trust you. And, you know, nobody's going to die over this. But when you're talking about a financial blow like that, yeah, it's unsettling for sure. And, but we definitely, it made us put our pencil down and really, what are our skills, you know? And I think this is a testament. We didn't know each other that well at that point. And it wasn't until we started working together that we realized our gifts, you know? What are you good at? What are you good at? And at the very beginning, it was like, okay, quit stepping on my gifts and I'll quit stepping on yours. And this has kind of, you know, and that's why I'm not on camera a lot, because he's really good at that. And I love it. I love the one-on-one with customers. That's really my bread and butter. But, you know, it sharpened our skills and it sharpened our relationship, and it helped us to appreciate each other. So at that moment, it was a little scary, but it was all for a bigger purpose that we could have never, ever seen or imagined, which is, for instance, sitting here with you guys today. I mean, this is such an amazing experience, and we feel very grateful to be here.
Perfect.
Yeah, we love having you guys on. This is amazing.
Yeah, you can pop that up there. We talked about that before on the last show, Robert Caldwell, and that's just the you know, doing, you know, favor using the term manzanita, you know, and you know, would you ever do a collaboration with Caldwell? Have you guys ever done a collaboration with another?
Well, a couple points here. Thanks for pointing that out, Dan. I think it's important. And for the record, you know, Caldwell's another one of the brands that we have shared brokers around the country. So we're very aware of what everybody does and how they do it. But what he wasn't aware of is when we first came out, Manzanita was one of those very important stories that we were going to tell at some point in time. And the tobaccos and the blend needed to mature. That whole 4,000-year history of actual tobacco use. People argue all the time who gets credit, who was the first. Well, the Paiute Indians, in fact, were the oldest culture to ever smoke tobacco. And that's what the Manzanita is. So because Caldwell had released a single size of a cigar that he called Manzanita once, we did reach out. He immediately said, yes, absolutely. You got a brand behind it. Go do your thing. So thank you again, Robert, for allowing us to do that without any, you know,
Robert's a good dude.
Yeah. And then the second part is the real answer that everybody wants to hear. I believe that every cigar that we and everyone else produces, and I mean everyone, is a collaboration. Nobody is the end-all, be-all, alpha, omega, giant of the cigar industry. I don't care how pompous, how much pride they have, how much they want to claim. You know, listen, they're all collaboration. Nobody did it all by themselves. I promise you that's never happened. And it will never happen, thank God, right? Because the masses is what makes this beautiful, the touch of every single person. But if Robert Caldwell, and there's a few others, you know, came to us and said, let's collaborate, absolutely, we would be honored. We would find a way. But it's not something that we typically see. There's a lot of collaborations, quote unquote, where you're making exclusives for retail partners or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But it's rare that somebody like Robert or Skip and Mike are going to come to Robert Holt and go, hey, collaborate with us. They don't need me to collaborate. Could you imagine if Steve Socket called me and goes, hey, Robert, come collaborate?
Everybody would faint.
I'm sitting here imagining it just for a moment. It's just not a common thing. and I have actually pitched collaborations to a few folks because something they did and something they were doing that really resonated with me, where I said it and they were like, we don't see any value in doing it. Okay. And that's okay. But it's all a collaboration. But we typically don't turn down opportunities to create a new beautiful symphony of something that people can enjoy for years to come. But it would be fun.
Oh, I can only imagine. Like I said, it was and Robert's such a great guy. He's rubs some people the wrong way, but that's just Robert. You
can't please everyone, and if you try, you're gonna fail no matter what.
As long as you're genuine, be yourself.
Yeah, just keep doing what you need to do for yourself and be a good human being. That's what it should be about. Just be a good human being.
This Cigar, you ain't for everybody, but there are gonna be a lot of people that like you. So
and if you don't rub people the wrong way, you'll never know how to rub them the right way, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Learn, take time.
That's it. So, all right.
So that cleanly.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Robert. All right. So let's move on.
You all got a great visual just now.
Yes. So Jessica, let's grab our bin of questions. Let's move on.
The bin of questions.
To some
Here comes the fun part.
So some lightning rounds.
He put
Let me
in
reposition myself for this
he
one.
put in some hard cards in here and print off, so I'm a little scared.
That's it.
There we go. I have no idea what.
Yeah,
these things
I don't
are.
even have any idea what these
The
are.
Trivial Pursuit cards in there, Jess?
I'll take the purple pie.
They look like this.
Yeah. So all right.
Chief Export of Albania.
So this is for the spouse. So you're going to answer for your spouse. What's their most prized possession, or the item they'd save in a fire apart from you?
Oh my God.
So Robert, what is Sharon's most prized possession that she would save in a fire and leave you in bed with? Or for?
Well, it's a tough one, but I would imagine that her little box of heirlooms for the kids in their youth and their birth to whatever point that they didn't need to be in that memory box anymore. But I would imagine it would be something that she could visualize for the future. It wouldn't be anything I gave her. So that's what I'm.
There might be a few of those in there. He would grab as many fly rods in one hand and as many flies in the other as he could, and run out the door. Is my best guess.
So all right. How about Karen Jen?
You can go first.
I don't know. I think probably the cat.
Yeah.
Oh,
She probably the cat.
The cat would be left
And,
behind.
and leave me there. Either the cat or the coffee pot. Either
Coffee
or.
pot is more realistic. My French press would be in hand.
Yeah.
oh,
I'd be
geez.
burning, but the French press would be, it'd be safe and secure.
Good choice.
You,
All
Lord, probably your travel humidor case would be going out the door with you.
It's always packed.
It's always packed and ready to go. That's his bug out bag.
Yep. I'm gonna watch this. If I want to watch a house burn, I'll sit and smoke some cigars.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Jessica, I don't know what you would. I don't know what you would grab.
I thought you would have said
Probably
it fast.
Your Edgar Allan Poe collection.
No, I would grab my kids. My kids.
That goes
my
without
dogs.
saying, Jessica. Of course,
They
Jennifer would
are
grab Joseph first.
Coming out the door
That
with
was
me.
going.
My
left
Wyatt,
this
I would
behind.
probably run to Wyatt's room, grab him, then grab my daughter, and then the
and then
dogs.
call me on the phone. Hey, Kevin, the house is on
There's
fire.
a fire, Kev.
Sorry, I like, and if Graham was here, or I would grab him too. It would be my kids. They're
Then
com-
the
they're
dogs. You're basically
coming.
last on the list, Kevin.
Yeah.
Sorry, they're coming. Okay, you would be. I was gonna say all the cigars. You would just be throwing all these cigars in a bag and hightailing it out.
I would say my Daniel Marshall humidor.
Yes, that's what I would. That's what I was gonna guess.
Probably, yeah, my Daniel Marshall humidor.
The only other thing I thought of was all those stupid coins you've collected.
Oh my God! No, I gotta grab the. So those state quarters, that they've been producing for like 20 years. I have all of them. I have like 5 books full of them, and it's dumb that I collect them. I spend $20 on 50 cents. You get 2 coins when they're released, and I have thousands of dollars that's only worth 50s of dollars. You know?
Oh,
$50s of dollars.
Yeah, that's
No,
it. So.
you guys got me to thinking, what about your computer? Because I don't know about y'all, but I have a lot of photos on
We
my
have
computer.
cloud storage.
It's all saved on the cloud.
Yeah. Everything. I do everything on my phone.
I have a CPU, old school tower, and because that's what I started with, right? And I was thinking, yeah, heirlooms are important, but pictures, they're all digital, and I'm going to print them someday, like we all say we're going to do.
Yeah.
I have a ton of backup pictures in the storage building.
The one thing I can tell, Sharon, Backblaze. Backblaze, I think I pay like $50 a year, and it's constantly backing up. Like it backs up 5 hard drives for me. So if something went bad, they'll actually mail you a hard drive, and then, like a physical hard drive that you can plug into another computer.
I don't know. I have an external hard drive which I could probably yank out and run, but anyway,
You got her to thinking now.
Thinking about
Yeah,
all right,
definitely.
this is one of the hard cards. I don't know
storage.
where these cards came from.
So, all right. When you wake up in the morning, what is your number one priority? We're going to start with Kerr and Jen. Kerr, what is your number one priority?
My answer for Jed?
Yes. Or no,
You answer for yourself.
Yeah, we'll say. These are from the podcast deck.
Okay,
so these are for yourself. What is your number one priority?
When I wake up in the morning, I got to eat breakfast. I'm miserable until I have a bowl of Cheerios. I have to eat as soon as I get up.
Nice.
So that is your number one priority.
As soon as I get up, I go downstairs and eat something.
Yeah. He was miserable when we were in Vegas, and we had to had something to go to, and we didn't have enough time for him to get breakfast. I grabbed coffee at Starbucks. There was like 5 Starbucks in the hotel. It was fantastic. So I'm like, I can get you coffee, but he didn't have anything to eat. Talk about hangry. It was horrible. That he didn't have it. For me, it would be coffee. If I don't get that coffee going immediately and have that first cup, day's done. No one wants to be around me.
All right, Robert, what's your number one priority when you get up in the morning?
Well, there's a 99.9% chance that ain't happening. So we'll move on to 1A and B.
Oh my God. This is hilarious. Now we have 2 different visions, Robert.
So
all the men in the audience are
for 99.9% of the days where no is a hard response. I always have a coffee and a cigar, always. I mean, I don't care the weather, temperature. As you know, I'm usually outside, but I will have almost always a sample of something I'm working on. As Sharon said earlier, a fresh palate, and I'm going to have coffee and a cigar, or nothing will get enough. Nothing, absolutely nothing.
All right, Sharon?
Kevin and Jess?
No, Sharon.
Sharon, sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that exciting, but I usually, I'm a health nut. So I wake up and I drink a big glass of water just to get my metabolism going. And then I make my first cup of coffee, and I take it leisurely for about, I do my Bible study, and I take it leisurely in the morning, and then I get my day started. So.
And 0.01% of those days.
Sometimes.
All right, Jessica.
My number one priority is weird because I have to think of others before I think of myself. So it's always the dogs. Get the dogs outside. Get kids up. Go make lunch. Go to the bathroom if there's time. Those are my morning priorities.
Just stared at you like.
Well,
wow.
I feel like how else do I answer that? Like literally, I have teenagers. Like they gotta get out the door. Go get. Like
been there, done that.
Yeah.
Like,
so
2 kids. I remember those days, and they'll go by fast.
They do. Like my oldest is 24, so I don't have to worry about him. Yeah, he's in the military. He's someone else's problem now.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But then the two other ones, and my daughter, she'll be a senior next year, so like they're self-sufficient for the most part. But my youngest son has Down syndrome, so he has other needs that have to happen, and so and then we have 2 rescue dogs that are just as needy, and everybody else comes before I do. your first priority, Kevin?
I'm gonna go a little deeper because it is something. It's something that I think about first thing in the morning, and it is something I think about right before I go to sleep. So when I wake up in the morning, it's like, am I going to make a difference in somebody's life today? And then right before I go to bed, did I make a difference in somebody's life today? And it could be something, because I'm a mechanic, so for my day job, and I like making people's laugh. I like telling jokes. I like I'm a nerd, so on knowledge. Yeah. So
Sheldon.
Sheldon. Whose life am I going to make better today? And then at the end of the day, who's
you and Jess have like these deep first thoughts. I'm jealous of Robert's high statistic of 0.01.
yeah. That astronomical
number, those odds.
Yeah. So all right.
I could see that about you though, because that's your
me or him. Oh,
both. But just so you know, Kerr, you and Wyatt are both having a big bowl of Cheerios.
I'm just eating Cheerios like
every day.
Kevin's in deep thought.
I know Kevin's wanting to make a difference. And all I want to do is get the almond milk and the Cheerios and not spill it.
I just want my coffee.
Here's a good.
No matter how you start your day, you got to be grateful for everything, even the hard stuff. That's what makes life worth living.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. I don't know if you're familiar with Lee Mac 912. He's a great cigar reviewer, content creator. At the end of every one of his videos, he always tells everybody, when you wake up every single day, you got to tell yourself it's going to be a great day. The subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between a lie and the truth, so you might as well tell it what you want it to hear. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a great day. Yeah. So, all right. On that, what is the one thing they're most likely to end up in jail for?
Is this answering for the opposite?
That's answering for the opposite. So we'll start with Jessica. What's the one thing that I would most likely end up in jail for?
Oh, why'd you have to start with me? Okay.
I was going to say, who gets to go first?
Yeah.
That's hard because you are, like you said, kind of a nerd, and you're kind of a stickler for rules. You're not really a rule breaker. Like, he's the most straight edge person I've ever met in my life. And you wouldn't know that by looking at him. When I first met him, I was thinking, oh, this guy, he's like going to be rough, like a rough No, biggest nerdy person I've ever met in my life. And I was like, have you done anything bad ever? Like, nothing. So that would be tough. Maybe rubbing a cop the wrong way by trying to school him on what he should know. I mean, I don't know what you would do wrong. You're not trying to break any laws.
I would say
maybe speeding.
No,
there you go. Speeding.
Yeah, I would say probably the only thing I'd end up in jail for, mess with one of my kids.
Okay.
All right. I will go on a killing spree that they would write ballads about.
Really? I'd see. Yeah. Okay. All right. What about me? There's too many things. There's too many things.
Yeah.
Let's just put it this way. Too many.
Kev, be careful.
Kev, why don't you just say what she wouldn't go to jail for?
It's something to do with road rage.
No,
in the car.
Yeah, that is not true. I am not a road rage driver. I'm a fast driver. There's a big difference. Just because you're scared to drive with me doesn't make me road rage. I just drive fast.
You yell at everybody.
I yell at you.
Yeah. Okay.
That's not going to put me in jail.
Yeah.
Because I yell?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would just see you bumping someone ever so slightly. Just little tap. And then they spin out of control.
That's my goal in life, is to make someone
that's
spin
rubbing,
out of
Kev.
control.
Yeah.
That's
rubbing racing.
Anyway, I already knew there's too many things. I'll admit I'm from New Jersey. Yeah. I'm not going to apologize.
All right, so
how I was raised.
So Robert, what's the one thing Sharon would end up in jail for?
Well, you kind of hit the nail on the head, and I won't say road rage because the term was used, but illegal detainment. Listen, there will be justice on America's highways and byways when this lady's out there. Don't do anything in her presence that is going to get her behind you with the camera phone on. Call the Department of Transportation or DPS, because if you stop in a parking lot, say at a Best Buy. She's going to pull up, block you in, and detain you illegally. And run your mouth. She's probably going to put 2 center mass. So a combination of those things, whether you follow her commands or not, is up to you. But yeah, illegal detainment, reckless engagement probably is
love that
where we're going to go. And we actually have a escrow account for said activities because we know in Texas what the average bail is going to cost, and initial arraignment.
That's great.
But yeah, we keep a little surplus cash.
Oh my god,
it's going to happen.
that.
Oh my god.
I have a vigilante spirit. I can't help it.
Yeah.
We feel passionate about that. And I don't know that we're supposed to defend why we would go to jail, but there you go. And now is it my turn to talk about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I don't call him my warrior for nothing. I mean, if anyone did anything to me physically, emotionally, obviously that's kind of off limits, but it's a fine line. I think they should just know it's a death wish. So he protects me, I'm sure in ways I don't even know about.
You're not exuding confidence. The fact that I can get away with it.
But
I'm really good at what I do.
Yeah, Robert's the type of guy that can reach out and touch someone from another zip code.
Yeah, on the back of my shirt it says AT&T.
Yeah.
That's like he reminds me a little bit of my brother. Like my brother's like that. Like he doesn't ever have to physically be near anyone, but you mess with anyone in our family, my brother's that guy.
Yeah.
Well, she'll defend everyone, right? Because it's that maternal vigilante spirit.
Yeah.
But I'm not that way. She's earned that respect and that right to take that bullet or give that ass whooping or take that ass whooping. Whatever I'm giving or taking, it probably involves her, right? So she's probably right. But I probably wouldn't get caught at that. I would get caught for some misdemeanor bullshit,
Yeah.
Gum wrapper when I left the scene, but I policed my frags. I policed my brass. I put that in my pocket, but I dropped a gum wrapper.
Yeah, that's it.
Somebody said, ask Rob about detaining a guy from a hit and run.
Well, Amber. I don't know what you're talking about, but it wasn't so long ago in a small town just a little south of here.
Did
where
she really bring that up?
Amber.
I know who it is.
Yeah. Well, needless to say, he didn't get away with it, and he was detained longer than he had anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, these things happen. She's
it
right.
makes for a great story, though. It does.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll talk about it next time.
Yes.
That's we'll definitely bring that one up next time around.
Yeah. We're gonna have to sleep on that one.
It's in the too near. What do you say? It happened too recently for us to talk about.
Yeah, the statute of limitations has not quite expired yet, so
there you go.
That'll be
That's
in the
great.
memoirs. Jen, what's Kerrigan end up in jail for?
Oh,
This time.
I'd have to say anything that would be done to the family. He's very faith and family driven. He's a positive person, so he's always looks at the good, and but family's everything and family's first. So I would say that
Probably.
first and foremost.
Probably.
See, this is why I should not have went first. I feel like my answer was
Nobody ever wants to go first.
No.
Care?
Well, you're answering for Kevin, who's a sweet guy who's going to get arrested for releasing caged animals because he's so sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, Jen's, I think you're kind of in that line with Jess without the road rage. I think that the
I am
number of
from
reasons
Jersey,
why you
but-
could get arrested I'd be here all night. You are definitely very protective. So
Yeah,
there was
and
an
that's just it.
incident
You're
not too long
fierce.
ago that I mouthed off when I shouldn't have, and because it was against our son, and I whipped around. I was about to get into a car, and I whipped around and gave it right back, not thinking of the consequences of
None.
what could have happened. And
we could have had an actual real life story on what Jen went to jail for that night. But
looking back on that, it wasn't smart on my end, but I was not going to allow what was being said to our son.
That
go
better be
without
the
being
voice of
known.
reason that night,
I
but it
think
was
that's
interesting.
I think that's a standard for I think a lot of people. It's just when you mess with people's
Yep.
family or their kids, that's like
Uh,
a go-to. You know, definitely.
That's it. So, all right, so we're gonna transition back into cigars a little bit, and then there's two projects that I want to talk with. Not yet, Kerr. The first one was brought up earlier. The Picadillos. Picadillo.
I just want to say how much I loved doing that.
Yeah.
But you could not see what number, and I had to take a picture and blow it up so I could.
Yeah, we were going back and
little,
forth with that.
My little notes, just saying, just putting that out there.
Yeah.
But it was fantastic. I absolutely loved it.
So for people that may not remember that project that launched almost exactly a year ago. So remind people what that is. That the finished product?
Ooh, what was that? Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Look at that. Yep.
Okay.
Love it.
I think there was a lot of, pecadillo is number one in Spanish, means small sins, white lies.
Well, we were just talking about.
Yeah, all those things we're talking about. But it's also obviously a little play on words for us getting to bring some small ring gauge cigars and new blends that nobody had ever had before. Now, when some of the media reported this early last year, they're like, oh, Southern Draw is doing a crowdsourcing. They're going to let, all these people smoke it. They're going to do a survey, and then they're going to pick a winner, and then that's going to be a new blend. Never did I say that. Never did we communicate that in any way. That wasn't the case.
Yeah, that wasn't even the press release.
No.
No.
Yeah. That's odd.
Yeah.
These were representative blends of tobaccos that we have, finished tobaccos. We intentionally created 4 blends in this case that were meant to be released as Coronas, 6x42, something that normally you would blend to a Toro and then you'd adjust it up and down for the other most common sizes. In this case, these were blended specifically for this one size. Now, that being said, yes, there was a QR code, and yes, the numbers just were very small. They were very small because I didn't want people having access to that QR code without taking the package off. They would scan it without even buying the product while it was on the shelves, and that was not what it was intended to be. 2, we didn't really want everybody to be looking at those numbers because now they correlate that to the survey they were doing and start revealing information about the blend while we're having a contest. So all it was meant to be small. You were meant to have to work hard.
Okay. Okay. All right. You get a pass for that. Now,
that being the case, we had over 12,000 responses.
Wow.
We had almost 100% hit on what we shipped and sold. And we sold them at cost, by the way. So really what that survey was about was us sharing the 10 most important criteria that we personally use in our process for blending and defining and selecting sizes and formats and finishes for our cigars and the overall smoke experience that we're trying to achieve. And for us, it's always we're trying to emulate the character personality of somebody that we're naming the cigar for. So the reality of it is, in November, we actually did a live show with Tim over at Cigars Daily, and we selected 12 alternates, a third place, a second place, and a first place from 100% of all of the responses that came off this QR code. So those surveys really weren't for us. Why would we care what somebody thinks about a sample blend? It was all about letting people document their own experience for their own future reference. And this is the case. So we selected 12. We published those a number of times because I saw the question tonight, whatever happened. The third place prize was a brand new custom made, handmade pair of Lucchese boots from El Paso, Texas, that are Pecadillo Southern Draw branded boots. And they're $5,000 a pair. These are the best boots in the world, hands down. So Dave Boynton won that, and he's working with our people at the factory and doing that design. They're actually going to carry this design into the boots, the boot. And it'll be a pair of boots that nobody in the world will ever have. But great partner, great representation. The second place prize was Nicholas Gallarza out of Jersey, I believe. He is going to accompany us, and I'm waiting to coordinate some things with him. But he's going on an all expenses paid vacation with Southern Draw family members, where we're going to a very exotic fly fishing, cigar smoking, cuisine, culture driven experience to get away from the office, to get away from, our rigmarole of life. And in this case,
that sounds a lot like that movie we just watched, The Menu.
I love that movie, by the way.
While we're there, I mean, we're not going to hunt people, I don't think. But take that second. And the first place prize, which the grand prize, which was what this was all about, was a chance to go with us to Nicaragua to experience and to learn the entire process from seeds to nursery all the way to the first ash that drops in the ash bay. And I don't mean a tour. I don't mean just understanding what it means to cultivate and to replant and to prime and to cure and to ferment and to sort and to blend and to produce and to age and to package. But the grand prize winner actually gets access to all of the information in our process of creating Southern Draw Cigars and all of the tobaccos that were used for these 4 blends in order to blend their blend, choose their size, to brand in their brand, which with us and cigar rings, to box or create a Mazo packaging of their choice. And we are producing at Southern Draw 50,000 cigars, which was 18 month process. And we'll take that to market and we'll sell it to through all of our valued retail partners. And our goal here is to reward someone that truly wants to understand and participate and appreciate this art, to invest in them the way people invested in us. We talked about collaboration earlier. Peccadillos was all about this. Thank you. Thank you for making sure that we had the right partners, to make sure we had the right family, we had the right investment, we had the right access to tobaccos, the right access to the best packaging and the best branding and the best cigar band makers in the world, the cello companies, UPC, the best hotels, the best cooks and chefs, whatever it took for us to become what we are. We wanted somebody else to feel what that was like. So for us, that's about, if you look at the process, $250,000 investment. Now, on our side, once those cigars are produced and we take them to market, we go through the same process we do for all of ours. They're along that journey. They're going to also select the charity of their choice, and all the profits that we make in that process will go, all profits will go to that charity of their choice. So what we want to do in this couple of year window with this gentleman and his family is we want to facilitate and to equip them with all of the resources necessary to be in this industry moving forward and do it very successfully. Everybody helped us avoid the stumbling blocks, the pitfalls. I mean, I've talked a lot over the last 10 years about certain brands and people that really helped us. Not everybody reached out a hand and wanted to welcome us. A lot of people took offense that we don't belong here, and that's fine, and to each their own. This means something different to all of us. But there were a number of people that did it. So Adrian Velasquez, whose family and his heritage and origin is out of Venezuela, has won the grand prize. An incredible man that has incredible, corporate experience, life experience, and I have never seen somebody more in tune and excited and ready to take this journey, who in fact had been praying for years, spending time with his family, going, how do we get into this great industry? How can we pull our resources together so that we learn and get the right relationships so that someday we have a chance to change lives by sharing a simple cigar? And we're excited. It's taken a lot of coordination, supply chain, travel, blah. Long story short, he's been very patient with us. But Adrian Velasquez is the winner of Peccadillo's Grand Prize and will be on this journey of a lifetime to create his brand.
Wow!
How awesome! Now, what about the cigars that were in the pack?
Those were all just representative samples. I never had a plan for any of those.
Oh, okay.
But if you remind us, the wax paper version here were only for friends and family. So not only that, bought Rattlesnake Ridge right there, the new Cryptic. So this is the new Cryptic pattern. I'm trying to show you the beautiful Peccadillos band. Okay.
Oh, how cool is that?
So you guys do a head count over there. I know you want to share a couple with some of your viewers, plus all you guys, but just shoot me a quick note, Kevin, and tell me. I want to make sure everybody gets to smoke these again. I want to make sure everybody gets a little of the swag that we used for the contest that we kind of held back for kind of follow-up, because these won't be produced again. These tobaccos now,
that's awesome.
From and to use to create his perfect blend for his palate and his mission. And then we'll decide what to do with the rest of the tobaccos after he's had access to them.
That's amazing. But I have to say, doing that, because like Kevin's been doing like his tasting notes, and
I've been doing the connoisseur. I've been doing the connoisseurs club for years.
And like I kind of, not that I'm not interested. I just always was like I'm never going to be that person who knows that much about certain tobaccos. Like maybe at some point I might, but like I'm not diving in like he did, and that kind of not forced me, but it was so pleasant to sit down and actually like do this, like write notes and like enjoy. And I picked, like, every morning I sat outside with my coffee and just like delved into these cigars, and I honestly was like, oh, it was like a light bulb moment, like, oh, now I see why some of these guys and gals like choose to do like these tasting notes and really delve into it and break it down and see how everything it looks, how it feels, how it smells, how it draws. And I never really put that much stock into it until I did that. So thank you for that.
Absolutely.
So and then next up, the final up, Kerr, you have a project launching this Wednesday night. Kerr, roll that beautiful bean footage. You'll be going live this Wednesday night, 2 nights from now, 7 p.m. The Great Smoke, and scrolling at the bottom is thegreatsmoke.com. You can still get your virtual tickets and in-person tickets for the Great Smoke 2023. And with that ticket, you'll be able to a chance to buy. You'll be able to buy during the live broadcast 2 bundles. After that, you're only going to be limited to 1. So you got to be watching this Wednesday night at 7 p.m. to get in when Abe says it's live to get 2 bundles. Robert, what are they getting 2 bundles of? Can you tell us about this cigar you blended with Abe?
It's back to that. There's so many great blends and productions you want to put out. But in this case, 10 years ago, blending this particular cigar, when we did the analysis of the cost of goods, the COGS on this particular cigar as a new company in the industry, it was extremely too aggressive for us to be able to forecast producing, 50 or 100,000 of this particular cigar to start. So this blend would have been one of the original blends. So without going into phenomenal detail, this is a fuller bodied cigar. It is a older experience. But again, in this case, we use a very aggressive fermentation and aging. And when I say aging, not just aging the tobacco, but the post-roll aging on these cigars are absolutely what makes the difference. You're talking 3 to 5 years on most of our special projects. We know what they are before we ever assign them a home. In this case, the evening stock, San Andreas Maduro, wrapper. San Andreas natural binder. If you're a Padron lover, now think of this natural and Maduro San Andreas. A little bit of broadleaf USA, and I'm not going to tell you whether it's Connecticut or Pennsylvania, but it's probably not Pennsylvania. This is meant to be another pretty aggressive evening stock. And the reference to evening stock is really, it's the first flower that opens as the sun sets. And it's really to say, hey, you just had dinner. You just had a little family time. You got a little something in your stomach. And if there's ever a time, now is the time to enjoy something a little bolder, a little heavier. And back to use Jen's term, because I use this term a lot. I think it's vital to explain the difference. A heavier viscosity, something with some weight, some smoke with some chew to it. This is the diet food of diet foods, right? This is a double fudge chocolate brownie, or in Texas chocolate sheet cake. It is that, but it's in the form of incredible tobacco. So the night stock, it's a one of a kind. We've produced it never before released, and we're releasing this in a size that we've never released before either, that we love, which is a short Churchill, 6.5 by 48.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I think everybody's going to really enjoy this particular release. And again, they're going to go fast. You guys know when Abe gets to flapping.
Oh, man.
He's punching the button over there. I mean, when he says to me, I want 300 bundles, I looked at my wife, 18 months ago when he said this, and the cigars were made, right? They're in the aging room. And I said to my wife, we're going to make 500 bundles.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's Abe.
Yeah.
Abe wants to sell 300. His staff got an extra 5. We know who they are, and we know who supports us the most. So they're going to have a little fun to smoke them too, right? You don't want them selling something they don't know about. That's bad juju. And the rest are for us.
Yeah. Now, Abe did say there are a total of 7 tobaccos in this cigar.
Yeah, it's quite aggressive. Yeah. It is, and
Wow.
much like the Cedrus in a sense, it's an alphabet soup of tobaccos. But it's not just the tobaccos and the grade of the tobaccos; it's the process that really makes this a very special cigar. But if you know Abe, punched us in the mouth, basically made us give it to him for less than it cost us to make it. But we're proud to share it because he didn't ask us for Connoisseur Club for this year because he's not doing it anymore, right? So, Sharon let me allocate resources to do something special for the Great Smoke 23, and we're honored to do it. It's going to be exciting. And again, we hope that everybody gets those tickets and get these bundles while they last. Do it with great fervor and excitement because it's the only place you can get it.
And this will be the first year that I'm in attendance.
I was just going to ask you.
I was saving that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, how awesome was that?
Was that supposed to be a secret?
Yeah. So,
No.
yeah. So yeah. But like,
True married couple, right? Yeah.
That's it. But like Robert said, everything that Abe does on all of these micro blend series, all of these one-offs, they go instantly. I mean, they go so fast. So definitely, like I said, they're scrolling at the bottom of the screen is www.thegreatsmoke.com or just Google Great Smoke 2023. Get your tickets. You can get your tickets in person or you can buy your virtual tickets. If you get the virtual tickets, you get the prize pack. It's the pack. It's like 30 cigars, hats, swag, everything else. But that also allows you to access the Great Smoke store. Like I said, this Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Now the sale doesn't go live at 7 p.m. So Robert and Abe will be going live at 7 p.m. Sometime during that show, Abe and Alex are going to announce that the store is open. Once the store is open, you'll have access to buy 2 bundles. Once the show is over, it's going to kick you back to 1 bundle. So you'll hopefully they'll have some left Thursday morning, Friday maybe, probably not because it's Abe. So yeah, definitely get in. Get your tickets. Go into the Great Smoke store. Store your credit card. When he says live, definitely score yourself 2 of these bundles.
And I don't want to hear people say, "Oh, it's a well-oiled machine." Abe has got this down pat. Like,
Yeah.
so people should not have a problem as long as you follow directions.
That's it. And then here's a picture of everything.
That's the problem, Jess. Follow directions.
So what you'll be getting with your in-person or virtual ticket: 32 premium cigars, 2 bags, ashtray, hat, lighter, lanyard, all of that. Like I said, it's and the price is next to nothing on this on your ticket. So like I said, don't worry if you can't come down in person. You'll be able to watch it virtually. So definitely get your pack, and then get your Southern Draw cigars. And then they have 2 more. They've got Rafael Nadal from Altadis, and who's the other guy? Ernesto Perez Carrillo.
Yeah.
So you'll have a chance to get these blends they're not going to be released to the public. You'll have Southern Draw cigars that nobody else has.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah, anything that's a fuller body blend for me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Oh, exactly.
That I'm all about that. I'm a moonshine drinker. Kevin is a rum and coke drinker.
Yeah, so that's
So that's kind of
like
like where our styles are.
That's it.
The stronger, the better for me. The more mild for you.
That's it. So all right, I cannot believe it's been over 2 hours.
Yeah.
It is just this show has flown by. Does anybody have any questions for Robert or Sharon before we?
I actually would like to, Kevin. I'd
Yeah,
like
yeah.
to, being a new cigar smoker, but obviously being in the industry with Kerr and the company and you guys, over the years, I have to say, being behind the scenes, I've been a little soured on what I've seen because you have expectations and things, and it really meeting you guys tonight, talking to you, hearing your perspectives and thoughts and views on life and family and just faith really has excited me on moving forward and, renewed what I've always felt about cigars and just people, and very excited. And, hopefully one day to sit in person and have a cup of coffee and smoke and eat, and would love to cook for you. And just really it's been a fantastic night. Very excited. And thank you.
Yeah, we are so grateful to be here. It was so nice to meet you all, for me personally, and I know for Robert too. The one thing I will tell you about what I've learned in a nutshell, in closing, the cigar industry is small. In the scope of things, it's a small industry and it's a family. And to me, going into a cigar lounge, whether it be a cigar lounge or your back porch with your husband or whoever you choose to be with, or even by yourself, it's a ministry, and it makes you take the time to slow down. It makes you slow down and appreciate life and ponder those things. And so I think there's a lot of value in what you're saying, is that, it's way more than a cigar. It's way more than a cigar. And I'm glad you're realizing that from the beginning, because, this has been so much fun. You guys are awesome.
Thank you very much.
You.
And we will, Jess
you.
and I will definitely see you guys in March down at the Great Smoke.
Yeah.
I look forward to that.
Yes.
Very
All
much.
right. All right. You have a great evening, and thank you once again.
Take care.
Thank you all. Enjoyed it. Thank you, everybody that watched.
You're welcome.
So much. Talk soon.
Bye. Talk soon. All right. Let's hear a word from our sponsor. Everybody start typing in the word cigar for our Tapping Ash and Taking Names giveaway.
Which one you want me to hit?
Corona Cigar, either number 1 or 2.
The intro or outro?
No, Corona Cigar.
I don't see it on there.
Say it.
They both say it.
It says
do they?
our interest.
Yeah, there's
Our
sponsor
outro.
intro, sponsor outro, Corona Cigar intro.
Oh, Corona intro or outro. Doesn't make any difference.
Jesus.
I just said that.
Yeah.
So, Kevin,
Yes.
I did shift some things tonight on the giveaway.
Okay. What are we giving away for the Amendola Family Cigars Tapping Ash and Taking Names giveaway?
Hold on. Do you want me to run the thing first before I tell you?
Yeah. Run the promo and then we'll tell you.
All right, great. All right. So tonight's giveaway, Jess, don't make fun. It's going to be 8 cigars.
Wow.
So we're going to give away all the 4 core blends of the Stogie Road cigars, the Illusione 35, the Sweetgrass Gringo, the Big Tony, and the Sandela. We're going to be giving out the deconstructed packs.
Oh, sweet.
For all 4 cigars.
Right
So you're going to get these 2 of the Sandela, San Andreas Candela.
Nice.
You will get the Candela Connecticut for the Sweetgrass Gringo.
Yummy.
Very yummy. You will get the Illusione 35 Connecticut and Habano Maduro. And then you will get the Big Tony Mexican San Andreas and the Habano Maduro.
Oh, right on.
That's
A total of
great.
8
That's
cigars.
fantastic.
Oh, perfect. So let's pick our winner. So just present,
Let's don't put it on that.
share screen.
All right, I'm sharing it.
The giveaway tool.
Your
Share. All right, and then
There
start
it is.
collecting. I can't see the
So
so
you know.
draw.
I can read.
Okay.
Good God.
So
Oh,
Larry
Larry
E.
Larry
Wayne.
Payne.
All right, so stop.
So all right, Larry, send me an email, Kevin@cigarprop.com. Let me write that name, and I'll get Kerr your info, Kevin@cigarprop.com.
Look at that.
And
Look, you guys have a tray too.
so that you do. So,
congratulations.
So yeah, congratulations. Yeah, what a great
What?
God.
To be honest, we could have sat and talked to them.
And there's
Yeah.
probably at
Way
least
longer.
there's several questions we didn't get to that we
No.
probably could have added another 45 minutes, an hour on
Yeah.
the show.
It was really,
Yeah.
it
just
was really good show.
amazing
Good
show.
Well, maybe if we didn't have a debacle and wasted 10 extra minutes in the beginning.
it was
of
like
the
a minute and
show.
a half. Calm down.
I'm just kidding.
So,
I,
all right.
I can't criticize. I hit the wrong button. I hit the wrong.
Yeah,
thing,
that was like
so-
15 seconds right there. So,
Ooh.
At
So
least
next
15
week-
seconds.
next week we have a guest on next week. Kerr, you know the guest. I don't. Chris from Carolina Blue.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, Carolina
Did
Blue.
we not meet them at Ebor? Not this past year, but
2
that
years
year.
ago.
Yeah,
2 years
so-
ago. They were down there. Yeah.
So
Now,
now,
them.
yeah, Carolina. Are they close to you, Kerr? Are they South Carolina Blue, North Carolina
Up
Blue?
in Charlotte area. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, it was
I
good.
had interviewed him
Met them.
years ago. So I'm looking forward to that show as well.
Mhm.
So cool. So yeah,
Good.
it's gonna be a good show. I don't
Me too.
know anything. I don't know anything about Chris, so it's gonna be awesome. Make sure you're following all of Robert and Sharon Holt. Their social medias are in the video description, along with all of our sponsors. Same with Cigar Prop producer Jessica, Kerr Viajante. I got to add Stogie Road Gin
Yes.
to that list. I'll have to go
Yes.
back in there and edit that and add Stogie Road Gin for her
Stogie
social
Road
media.
Gin.
Posting some great pics.
Posting some great
Love it.
picks.
Even though I'm sick to my stomach because I don't like people watching me, tune in tomorrow night to Shirtless Mike's show. He's on YouTube.
Yeah, he's on
correct? Yeah,
YouTube,
yeah.
Facebook. So definitely check out. It's
Then you can come watch me tomorrow
watch
night.
Jessica tomorrow night if you didn't get
Sounds
enough Jessica
so
tonight.
Bizarre.
So yeah, definitely
Are you wearing the same outfit that's in the picture, the promo picture?
Yeah,
No. Well, maybe I should, right?
Kevin
Yeah.
will pick your outfit out.
That's it. So and I think his show's at 7.
I have all the information.
Okay, so I think
he
it's
sent
7
me
p.m.
The
So,
link already
so,
and
yeah.
stuff. I'm on top of it, Kevin.
All right on. So okay, so once again, thank you to our wonderful partners for making the show happen each and every week. JC Newman Cigars, CigarMedics, Amendola Cigars. We are the muscle. Veritas Cigars, Illusione Cigars, deep in flavor, deep in your mind. K by Karen Berger Cigars. Make sure you click that link in the bio and get your K by Karen Berger Florida Cigar Passport. And of course, Drew Estate and Experience Acid. Kerr, Jen, any final parting words for our viewers and listeners tonight?
God, you've been on a roll.
I don't know.
You can't be
You
put on
put
the
me on
spot
the
like that.
spot.
I didn't put you on the spot.
It's not on the show notes, is it?
No. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Jen. Your final thoughts are
saying
have
Jen,
a great
final
night.
thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah.
Catch us on Stogie Road Cigars and Broadleaf Bullies.
Your final thoughts is she's going to read your signature.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
very bottom of it.
That's it. Care.
I always say, man, life is short. I think tonight's interview is fantastic.
It was
So
wonderful.
great to see, family, friends, and faith, and just enjoy a cigar. Take your time, grab a buddy, and enjoy a cigar.
And don't talk too much while smoking it.
That's right.
Yeah. Be quiet.
Hit
All right.
the outro button.
Yeah. We'll see everybody next week.
See it.